What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, y'all, I don't know if a lot of y'all are familiar with the $1 million worth of game podcast that is hosted by Gillie the Kid, his cousin Wallow, and a young man by the name of Dev, right? This show comes on, this podcast comes out once a week. They talk about a whole lot of different topics, and it's been thriving for a minute now, right? So now, recently, the young man Dev, has parted ways with the podcast due to him feeling like he was not being paid his worth on his show. Now, when the split occurred, Dev never said anything about him splitting from the show. He never talked ill about Gillie, never talked ill about the podcast, never said anything ill about Wallow. They just went their separate ways. Gillie gets upset that people are asking, "Where is Dev at? Where is Dev? Why is he not on the show? He helped make the show good." He gets upset by that, and he starts belittling Dev in many ways, right? So this causes Dev to come out and speak out about him feeling like he's not being paid his worth, with contract details and everything. So Dev says, no, he says, Gillie say, "I'm just the sound guy or whatever." He's like, "That's wrong. I was a host. He was an editor. He did the graphics. He did timestamps." And I promise y'all, it takes time to fulfill those roles behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, I know it does. It takes time to make a podcast look good. Dev probably spent more time working on the podcast than Gillie spent talking on that podcast for a week. But after all of this playing out, I'm just seeing really what type of dude Gillie is, man. Gillie's ego is too damn big for his own good. Like, it's too big for his own good. Like, he's so busy trying to belittle Dev in any way possible, there is no way for a reconciliation to occur. Because he's just so out to belittle that man's name, all because he felt like fans were clamoring for Dev too much, and he wanted to prove to the world that Dev ain't do shit, Dev wasn't shit before him, and Dev ain't gonna be shit without him. That's his whole MO. That's his whole thing he's trying to prove. And I'm watching how Gillie is moving. And Gillie strike me as the type of man that he'll help you out and do a lot of stuff. He'll help you out and help you in many different ways. But the moment stuff goes south with y'all relationship, he'll reveal everything about how he helped you. He the only reason you thriving. You wouldn't have had nothing if it wasn't for him. That's how this man is talking after the fact, right? Now I watch him sit and have this little, he had a conversation with a young boy, right? A young boy with dreads. I believe he's from Camden, New Jersey, just like Dev is. And the young boy was talking to Gillie about the whole situation, about what transpired, and he was trying to make some points and ask Gillie some questions, right? And I'm watching how Gillie moving, man. I promise y'all, Gillie couldn't wait to get all this stuff out, and he seemed like a dude that just couldn't wait to clown Dev at any moment, right? He reminded me of a lot of the Chicago hood dudes in Chicago that's super shiesty, right? And the hood dudes, they get upset when you call them out for some BS that they doing. When you don't let the hood dudes do BS to you, they get mad and they want to get all over emotional and all loud and all of that. And I'm watching how Gillie acting, and I'm looking like, Gil, it don't matter how many times you yell, how many times you curse, how many times you scream, how many times you buck your eyes out to the world. That don't make you right, and it doesn't help prove any of the points that you saying that you saying you got at all. And after I'm seeing how Gillie acting, I got a lot more respect for Wallow. For real, because Wallow ain't tried to belittle Dev in no type of way. He ain't never tried to slander that man's name. He never tried to clown him at all. And I'm looking like, Gil, you supposed to be the dude that's supposed to be giving all the young boys game and trying to get them game on how to conduct themselves and all this and all of that, right? He's supposed to be the big homie. But what's killing me is he responds to conflict the same way that an adolescent would. Gillie responds to conflict just like a young boy would. Get all over emotional and hollering and cussing and being all disrespectful and all of that. I'm like, man, it's crazy. Even when a young boy talking to Gillie, when they having a conversation about everything that happened, Gillie getting disrespectful, hollering and yelling and saying, like, getting a little smart or whatever. And the young boy stayed professional. He stayed calm the whole time, stayed composed, and kept making his points and asking questions. Gillie being extra ignorant, over the top, acting a damn fool. And I'm like, Gillie is he is a really immature dude. He is a really immature dude. And I don't care how old you are, age don't mean nothing. Because apparently, allegedly, Gillie is 44 years old, and he's still acting like a young dude. Like, even the way he thinks and how he moves on certain stuff, it's like a young dude feels, right? And then he kept talking about how nobody knew Dev before the podcast. Ain't nobody know him, what he was doing. He ain't had no name. He only had what? He only made $200 off the little podcast he had before me. I put him on. Ain't nobody know him. Well, so damn what, Gillie? What does that matter if nobody knew him? Because when he got on the podcast, he proved his worth on the podcast. He proved that he was worth something. He proved that he had value to the podcast. He added value to the podcast. Again, he brought balance to the show, and everybody would see that. You know, but Gillie trying to act like he ain't nothing and all that. I'm like, come on, fam. Like, seriously? And Gillie is another thing about Gillie. He the type of dude that he don't want to hear nobody else's point of view on nothing. As long as he want to just get his point of view across. Gillie, listen. He don't listen. He let you talk just for the sake of him just saying something. Like, he don't listen to nothing you saying. He just want to get his point across the whole time. And I'm like, man, the way he acting towards Dev is like, it's childish to me. It's childish. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm looking at a screen because I wrote notes down and talking about all these different talking points that I got, right? And noticing how Gillie moving, that man moral's not intact. He moves dishonorable by resorting to belittling antics when stuff don't go his way. The moment stuff don't go his way, he started trying to belittle people and belittle you and talk down on you and all of this and all of that. Like, it was crazy to me. And then he want to call out Dev. He talking about some Dev trying to get sympathy, talking about thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for the support. Now, that's what Dev was saying when people were like saying that they liked what Dev brought to the show. People were saying they liked what he brought, the energy he brought to the show and everything. And they was like, where he's at. They was missing him or whatever. And he's like, thank y'all for the support. That's all he was saying. Now, Gillie get upset because when Dev responded, Dev didn't respond with all that rah-rah energy that Gillie was displaying, right? A lot of overly emotional hood dudes, they hate when you respond to their emotion and outlandish outbursts and disrespectful rants with composure. They hate when you respond to them with sense. They hate when you don't gotta yell or curse and scream to respond to them. They don't know how to respond to that. They don't know how to respond to cool calmness. They know how to respond to rah-rah and all that hollering and all that shit. That's how they know how to respond to. So it threw Gillie for a loop when Dev didn't respond like that, and now he trying to get sympathy points and all of that. Nah, fam, he was just calm and collected and he made his points and he said exactly what his gripe was with you or his gripe with the show or what was going on with the show. Gillie come in trying to clown and all of that, and it just, he wasn't never nothing, he wasn't gonna be nothing, and I made him what he was, basically. That was his whole premise, trying to prove that he made him what he was. And I'm like, Gillie is a really immature dude. Like, for real, he's really, really immature. And to be, again, trying to be the voice of reason for the youth, that ain't cool. And truth be told, y'all, I was watching the podcast for a minute, but eventually I can only take Gillie for so long, for so much, because he started to become a little over the top for me, like too much. Too much. And I know Wallow is his cousin, so Wallow deal with it, and Wallow's never gonna get down or ride or go against his cousin as he should. He shouldn't do that. That's your family or whatever. But I'm sure they having conversations behind the scenes possibly, and Wallow may be telling him, hey, you was wrong for how you handle that, and so on and so forth. But I know even sometimes Wallow probably feels and understands that Gillie can be too much at times. Too over the top, man. Like, again, Gillie, that friend, he'll do all this stuff for you and all of that and say y'all family and everything, but the moment stuff don't go his way, all that go out the window. He start talking about you, trying to reveal stuff about you, clown you out and all of that. He seems just like that dude. And again, it don't matter how many times he cusses and hollers and yells and screams, does not make him right at all. But it's just crazy, man, how stuff is playing out. And I'm like, man, that ain't cool, man. And Dad was being mature the whole time, being a sensible adult, being a man about the whole situation. He just said, well, hey, he laid out the facts, what his facts were and what happened, what his opinion was on things, and that was it. And Gillie got mad at that because he don't know how to respond to calm, poised energy. He only know how to respond to bullshit, all that. That's the only thing he know how to respond to. So he got thrown for a loop, man. But Gillie just too immature for his own good. He got to let that ego go. Because he remind me of a lot of Chicago dudes in the hood that get mad when you don't let them get over on you. Like, for real. Like, he just seems like that. You know what I mean? And, I don't know, man. It's just, I watch how all this playing out. I'm like, Gillie, man, don't. And don't get me wrong, that brand is Gillie and Wallow's. That $1 million worth of game, and that's their thing. And they had a good thing going, and I'm assuming, everything's still gonna go how it's supposed to go. But dudes gotta know how to conduct themselves and how to have, I don't know how to, they need to get a better handle on their relationships with their friends and how to respond to conflict or like internal conflict, because Gillie's not good at that. The moment stuff don't go his way, he just lose his mind and just go all out the window. It's just ridiculous, man. But dude is a real immature dude, and it's clear to see. Cause I don't even know, like, truthfully, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I couldn't even be Gillie's friend. Cause the moment something don't happen his way, he get to talking all that talk and going all off his rant, and what he tell Wallow, that nut ass shit, he get to doing all that, and all cussing and hollering and all that, and acting ignorant. I'm gonna be, hey bro, I'm done, fam. Like, I can't be around a dude like that. That's always on edge, and people be like, I always hit this phrase, your friends are not your real friends if y'all don't cuss each other out from time to time and holler and yell at each other. That's not true. A lot of me and my homies, we don't cuss each other out and call each other out our names and all that, family. And we grown men and been rocking with each other since we was young kids. We don't got to do all of that. But Gillie got to do all that extra stuff, man. It's just like, who want to be rocking with you when you acting like that, fam? Nobody, man. Nobody. He going to mess up a lot of good things that's going for him in the future because of how he acts and how he handles situations. He got a little Dame Dash up in him. He got Dame Dash up in him. And probably worse probably than Dame. He just off the hinge at every time. Like, bro, relax, fam. But anyway, man, that's my take on everything. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out. Peace.